So I sit down today to edit a video, edit a dual video, and then my messenger keeps blowing up with new ban lists, like in all caps, and people talking about it. And I didn't want to put in the effort to edit a dual video if it's going to get overshadowed by a bunch of ban list videos, so I thought, why not jump off the bandwagon, make a ban list video. Might do well, might not. Let's go ahead and get into it. To the February 7th, 2022 ban listers, I like to call it the Missed It Mine Was It Banned Yet playlist. Or ban list. So let's go ahead and get into it. First up, excuse my diarrhea of the mouth during this. But first things up, Arch Nemesis Protoss has now been banned. No longer searchable. You can't even run him in your deck. Not being able to be destroyed, plus locking you out of special summoning, plus the easiest summoning condition ever. I can see why they hit him. Doesn't stop Sword Soul entirely, but it definitely makes them not broke. Because putting that out with all the other stuff is kind of busted, and it's really hard to get around. Just locking you out of summoning, special summoning, depending on the attribute, which is really good. The other one hasn't gotten banned though, so we'll see if they start playing that as well. Well, Sword Soul can't, but other decks might. Next up, we have Ava. Ava getting banned was limited. I don't know why they hit Ava, personally. Not a lot of people were still playing Drytrons. I mean, don't get me wrong, people were playing Drytrons, but not as much as when it was at 3 and they were stupid powerful. But I mean, it getting banned, we'll see what they do. I think that's just them trying to get people to move on from Drytron personally. Or there might be something coming out in the future that I don't know about. Because I don't keep up with everything that's coming out. So if there's something like that, let me know in the comments. So that's it for all the new banned monsters. Maxi didn't come off, big sad. Really wish it did. Thundrag Colossus still banned as well. A lot of people wanted him off, but what are you gonna do? Next new banned monster, Simorg, Bird of Sovereignty. This guy is crazy. He's 2300, I think. Can basically specify any floodgate wing beast from your deck, so either Mist Valley or Barrier Statue or anything like that. He's easy to get out. He's definitely not Bird Up's like inboard play, but he's one of their inboard plays that they don't get the line that they want. So I can see why they banned him, but at the same time, it's not going to hurt Bird Up too bad. It's definitely gonna stop them just having like broken boards though, like with the Barrier Statue and everything. Granted, you can still run over Barrier Statue, but you also can't target anything he points at either, and himself, you can't target him either. So it's definitely a thing. I don't think it's gonna hurt Bird Up too bad, but it's definitely one of those things where it takes away one of their possible inboards for sure. Nothing else coming off here. No spells got banned. IO, all the haters got what they wanted. IO got rebanned. Anecdotally, again, I'm just going off my own personal experience here, so you're gonna be hearing me speak from anecdotal experience a lot. But IO, I never really had an issue with because, well, I mean, I've had issues with it. Obviously, it's a power card, but it at 1 I thought was kind of fair. Nightmare Phoenix is still a card. You can still get rid of it with Nightmare Phoenix. Don't know where all the Nightmare Phoenix players went. But yeah, IO getting rebanned. A lot of people wanted it, so that's what happened. But at the end of the day, I thought it wasn't hard to out it if you were playing the right stuff, but I guess you gotta be playing the right stuff. But as you can see from this list, Konami definitely wants to force us to play some stuff. So now we'll go to the limited stuff that came off, stuff that got put on. So let's see here. Astrograph Sorcerer got limited, was banned. Not really much to say about that. Pendulums aren't really doing that much right now. Destrudo, though. Ooh, this is very spicy. Was forbidden. Got put back to 1. Very interesting to see him at 1. I wasn't really playing around when he was at 3. I was on hiatus back then, but I know the power of Destrudo. He can be really crazy, so that's good. I could probably run him in a couple decks that I want to, so we'll see how that goes. Fairy Tale Snow. This one is huge for a lot of reasons. She is not once a turn. It's crazy, putting stuff face down so you can't link with it. And link material. She's link material herself as well. Just, golly, the possibilities are endless with Snow. Golly, her coming off the list is pretty crazy. I know one person at my locals, Trell, was definitely saying that he wanted her back, so he got his wish. And then Lunalite Tiger coming off the list as well. I wasn't really, again, I was on hiatus whenever this combo was big, so I'm not really sure about the power, so I can't put into context. Maybe some people commenting can, for people that don't know. But Lunalite Tiger, I wasn't really around when this combo was big, so again, it's just a thing. I can't really comment on it too much, but it's cool. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing Lunalites played. Lyreless Recital Starling got put to 1, which is very interesting. I mean, it makes sense. It's not once per turn. Oh, it's a soft once per turn to search, so it gets around Ash, and also it's just, I mean, it's just a good card in general, but at the same time, I guess they just didn't want people making 2 Recital Starlings, getting 2 searches, and then going into Utopic Future Draco, which makes sense because 2 searches plus that is kind of nutty. But I don't know. I mean, Lyrilusk Tri-Brigade is a thing, but I haven't really been seeing it played as much as like pure Tri-Brigade, so we'll see how it goes. Monster Gate getting put to 1. That's interesting. Don't know why. I've never really seen anyone playing Monster Gate. It might be for something that's coming out in the future. I wouldn't know, so let me know. Maybe they don't want people attributing the Brave token for it. I honestly have no clue. Pod Desire is being put to 1. Another Sword Soul card, mainly. Makes sense to a degree. I'm not really a big fan of Pod Desires because you can banish whatever you want to draw, or banish anything that you want to search off any search cards that you get off the draw. Like, the risk is too high for Pod Desires for me, man. Like, it's just the risk is too high to banish like a play set of your starters or something that you need, maybe a limited card or something like that. Also, that being said, I think they also limited Pod Desires because it's Konami. They make like pots like every set or every 2 sets, so they probably want people to, and it's still good to some people, and they still main deck like a play set, especially Sword Soul, because it actually buffs their guy up. But that being said, they probably just want people to stop playing it. That's why they put the 1, being like, hey, we have other pots like Extravagance and Prosperity and all these new ones that we're going to make, so play those, which is the main reason why I think they put Desires to 1. Because, again, at the end of the day, they're a company. It's all about money. So these are going to reflect mainly, like, these choices are going to reflect mainly how do we make money off this ban list. But also, there's that dash of let's see what we can do for the game, but it's mainly about money. Let's be honest, it's mainly about money. And that's it. Nothing else got limited. Nothing else new got limited. Nothing came off the forbidden list limited. So let's see what else is here. Next we go to semi-limited. This is interesting. A Hero Lives got semi-limited. Heroes, guess they can play more, which is nice, especially with DPE now. So that's pretty cool. Fusion Destiny Nadir Servant. Now, this is what I like to call, I'm not sure if everybody will agree with this opinion, but this is what I like to call Konami pretending to do something, which is what they did in the last list as well, which is why I didn't make a video, because they touched like 3 cards, and none of it mattered. So, here's the thing. This is them pretending to do something. This is them putting Fusion Destiny to 2, and Nadir Servant, well, I don't really know of any complaints with Nadir Servant. I'm sure some people are complaining about it, but again, anecdotally, I don't know. So, again, leave a comment if I'm missing something with Nadir. But it's mainly Fusion Destiny that I'm talking about. So, Fusion Destiny, they didn't hit Verte on this list if you can't see. They didn't hit Verte at all. So, Fusion Destiny getting semi-limited means that you have less of a chance to open-hand it, but you still have a good chance to open-hand it, as well as you can just send it off Verte. So, at the end of the day, this really just does nothing. Like, putting it semi-limited, it does nothing. It lessens the consistency by, like, 1%. Like, that much. It really does nothing to solve the DPE problem. That, because I do think it's a problem when you look around you at a locals and see it on literally everybody's board but yours, because you don't want to play it. And in my case, I just don't want to play it. But, Fusion Destiny, this is them basically going, see guys, see, we touched it. We touched the DPE engine. See, we did something. Like, trying to placate the player base, basically. It's them pretending to do something. It's like when they put Tenki to 1. It literally did nothing to any of those decks. It's when they banned Barrage and put Tenki to 1, it literally did nothing against Tri-Brigade. Like, it didn't have the same impact as if they put like Revolt to 1 or something, because they wanted to act like they're doing something when they're not actually doing something, which is my personal opinion. Not that I'm mad about it. I mean, I expect it from them. Like, I expect their list to be weird like this, but it's whatever. Anyway, Salamangreat Circle coming back to 2 is pretty interesting. I'm expecting to see a lot more Salamangreat, and hopefully I can film a lot more Salamangreat. I don't have a lot on the channel, so it'll definitely be cool to see it, especially because since Circle's back, people might start playing it more, which is nice. And then Scapegoat coming back to 2. This is interesting. I did not expect this. I don't think anyone was expecting this. It's limited. It was limited for a reason, but I guess not a lot of people play it at 1 anyways now, so there's really no point in keeping it limited. So yeah, I guess there's that. Now we go to the fun stuff. Now we go to the unlimited. Let's see what we got back here, folks. First, we got Danger Nessie, no longer on the list. This is cool. I mean, it was at 2, so not really too much of a change there, but I mean a little bit more consistency with it at 3 than 2. Especially with Jackalope and Tsuchinoko still on the list, so there's really no point in keeping Nessie on the list, I suppose. Skullcrobat Joker, no longer on the list. Again, Pendulums aren't really doing much, so there's really no point. Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, this is very interesting. It was limited. Like, it's more interesting to see cards that go straight from limited to 3 or like forbidden to 3, because then it's like, what? So, Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, this one threw me for a loop. It's still throwing me for a loop, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, this is gonna be kind of crazy. Really easy to get out of your hand. Really easy to summon, really bonkers effect as well, so maybe Dragon Maids with it at 3 might be cool. Maybe just Dragon Link without LP, maybe. Like, maybe they're trying to get people to play Dragon Link again or something. I have no idea what they were thinking with this. Like, I can't really, like, not in the sense that it's bad that it's not limited anymore. I'm actually kind of excited to see what people do with it. It's more so, like, I can't really figure out the reasoning. Like, I'm trying to wrap my head around it. I just can't figure out the reasoning of why putting it to 3 unless it's something coming out later. E-Telly, we kind of all saw coming back to 3. Mutants getting their stuff next month, which is nice. So that's why mainly. Also, helps Phantom Knights, helps Virtual World. That's the thing. Sorry, had a brain fart there. Yeah. I like it. I really wanted it to 3, so getting it 3. Regeki to 3. This is nuts. I guess they were like, well, people are going to be running Lightning Storm or Dark Hole, and we've already reprinted Lightning Storm into the dirt, so... And people are still going to get Lightning Storm, so might as well bring Regeki back to 3 since people don't run it anymore, which I don't know why. I think it's a great card. I personally think it's an amazing card. It can turn the tide of a game if they can't negate it, and if their monsters can't protect themselves, it can turn the tide of a game. It's a crazy card, and I really enjoy it. And then finally, the big one, the one that everyone's talking about, Skill Drain at 3. Now, this is Konami's way of... I mentioned before them trying to force us to play cards, and this is what I was talking about. Them trying to force us to play back row hate. Because Skill Drain is now at 3. And Mystic Mine still at 3. Gosh, I hate that card. But yeah, so Skill Drain being at 3, Mystic Mine at 3, and then we have the other floodgates like TC Boost still at 3, Gozen's still at 3, Rivalry still at 3. They're really, 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 really pushing control decks. It seems like decks that can just play floodgates, but also giving a Skill Drain at 3, like, they just really, really, really want us to play some main deck back row hate, like MST. And here's my thoughts on that. I don't like being... Before... We have to go back to before... Like, we have to go back to early days of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I wasn't really playing during early days of Yu-Gi-Oh! I was as like a noob, like, you know, be like one of those high school kids that put like one of every card in their deck and think I was, you know, an anime character or something. That's fine. Then I got my ass promptly kicked at a locals, and I was like, maybe I should build, a deck that's good. So, that being said, in those early days of Yu-Gi-Oh!, especially when I was playing, you still have to, like, main deck MST. Then Twin Twisters came out, and people were going crazy about that, because they're like, oh crap, it pops too, that's nuts. So, you'd main deck Twin Twisters because you didn't really have outs to stuff like that. Now you do. Now basically every archetype has like a thing. That's what made Cosmo really good as well, because they had basically pops within their archetype, like Dark Destroyer popping a monster and Slip Rider popping spells and traps was great, because then you didn't have to main deck stuff like MST and stuff like that, so you could run other stuff. Granted, you still main decked MST for other stuff, but that's whatever. But nowadays, with power creep up to like Link format up to now, it's very much every archetype kind of has an out to stuff like back row and stuff like that, in the sense of like Sky Strikers have their cards, other stuff has other cards, etc., etc. So it leaves you room to put other stuff in your deck. That being said, there's still cards that people say you have to run, like hand traps, cross outs, stuff like that. But you don't have to run those, because even those are getting phased out now, because the power creep, most of these decks can play through those types of cards. That being said, Konami's trying to make us go back to that part where we had to main deck outs, because not every deck has an out to all these cards. Like 3 Miss It Mine. Miss It Mine is just a horrible card. I don't know why they keep forgetting to hit on the list, but that's the only explanation I can think of, is that they keep forgetting it exists, because that card needs to be put to 1 at least. But that at 3, skill drain at 3, a deck doesn't have as much resources to deal with all of that, as opposed to like just 1 card or something. Even then, Miss It Mine, sometimes it can't handle it, so you have to run outs. But I don't like being forced to, like, we've gotten to the point now where you don't have to run outs to stuff sometimes. So, and again, you still have to a degree, but there's still room to put other stuff in your deck. You don't have to run as many outs. Now they're trying to put it back to a place where you have to, and I don't particularly like that, because the game has gotten to the point where you don't have to. But at the end of the day, it is kind of returned to familiarity, so we'll see where it goes. Maybe it'll be a good thing. I don't know. I just don't like I don't like being forced to take up like 6 slots on my deck for like 3 Cyclones and 3 MSTs, because I'm not going to be playing Twisters with all this stuff, because that's going to be like, I'm going to have no hand at this point. That being said, Harpies is still unbanned as well. You're going to have to run that too. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it. And thoughts on the list overall? I think it's okay. It's way better than the last one. Like, they actually put some effort in and didn't just touch like 3 cards and was like, oh, hey, we made a list. No, they actually did do some stuff. But again, no Miss It Mine is where I really, really am upset about the list, personally, because, again, that card needs to go. Like, I can deal with DPE, fine. Miss It Mine is where I draw the line. Like, DPE is fine. You can IDP him. You can banish him out of grave. There's a lot of ways to deal with the DPE. It's just annoying to see him everywhere. Miss It Mine, though, is a crutch, in my opinion, for people that don't want to make a deck that can play through interruption. Instead, you interrupt their one thing, and they're like, alright, draw Miss It Mine. Either draw your out, or I draw until I have perfect hand. That's not really a cool way to play the game. I don't like sitting there and watching my opponent draw cards when I know I can do things, but now I can't. That being said, some people might call me a hypocrite, because they're like, oh, well, just run outs to it. Like, you don't like having to run outs, but you still run outs to other stuff. And that's true, and you'd be right in saying that. It's just different cards have different effects on the emotion of the game, the emotion of the players, the state of the game as well. And there's a difference when you're sitting looking at a Goza match being like, I can maybe out this, as opposed to a Miss It Mine where it's just, they might have drawn like another one as soon as you get it, because at the end of the day, other floodgates, there's more ways to out it. Like, Nightmare Phoenix, for example, or other stuff. But again, I'm just talking in circles at this point. Bottom line is I just don't like the card. If you got a problem with that, then no, you got a problem with that, I guess. But anyways, that's the list. Make sure you let me know what your thoughts are in the comments, those who watch this video. Sorry that there's no dual video today, like I said, but we'll try and put one up tomorrow or sometime this weekend. Might be the Edison duel, might not, we'll see. Or might be a box opening for Grand Creators, but I probably need to post a dual video for everything else. But yeah, make sure to follow me on Twitch at DocGenzo with a 0 at the end, not an O, because Genzo for some reason they think is offensive, don't know why. And then also like, comment, subscribe on the channel, really helps out. Might as well get all the cliches in there, and then I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.